just a short announcement before you start listening to this. This is going to be longer than I expected. The interview portion is rather short because we didn't have much time, and I was going to keep this short with the intro, but then I remembered that I should be speaking about the WWE events and wrestling events, so I go on a little longer because I do like this review of the Royal Rumble, and so I apologize if you are looking for the interview and are not listening to this to listen to me ramble about wrestling and give my opinions. But if you like wrestling, and if you like some sort of stupid I don't know, guys. If you want to listen to horror, just skip to the last, I guess, 12 minutes or something of the show. Bye! And hello again! Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of the Made of Things podcast. I am your host, Nwo Correia. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a fairly short episode of Made of Things because we spoke with Horror back in 2017 at Vodafone Paredes up north in Portugal, and they were lovely. ED and DOGM were really nice to us, and they seemed like really cool guys, and however, you know, we only had a couple of not a couple of minutes, but we had clearly under 10 minutes to do this, so we just decided to hang out really and see how the guys were, and we ended up talking about wrestling a lot because they sample Hawk from the Legion of Doom from the WWE, or back in the days of the WWF, with the Ooh What a Rush. And we addressed this more or less immediately because I saw this on during the show, and so I was like, "Oh, these guys are into wrestling." So we decided to speak about that, and then we ended up. And I apologize if you're not into wrestling at all, but we decided to speak about that a lot. So we just spoke about that for like half the time, I guess. And you know, we also talked about you know, touring with the Dillinger Escape Plan, who have been on the show as well. If you haven't seen the episode or watched the podcast episode, please do. It's a lot of fun. And I guess that we also spoke about being, you know, a person living in the US, like the feeling you get of it nowadays, and it's not so different from back in 2017, so it's like only been like a year and a half already. And I'm going to keep this short because this is going to be part of a wave of back catalog stuff that's already been posted on YouTube, and you can go check it out. But so that we have still yet to post on iTunes, but here on the podcast. But yeah, we still are going to do the podcast, even though the intros are going to be much shorter for at least a while, because we're focused on doing the YouTube show primarily, and also there's a lot of other sorts of content that's coming up on the YouTube channel. So the podcast is going to take like a slightly back seat to the other content, but we're still going to do this, and we're actually going to do this more, put out more episodes than ever, I think, because the intros are going to keep getting shorter, I would say, and there's a lot of them to post, so we're going to just like post a lot of episodes. So this one though, I usually say like we're going to keep this short, and then I end up instead of doing like 3 minutes, I end up rambling about for like 20 minutes, and then the interview bit is more or less the same length. And I guess it's going to happen more or less this time, because I think that we spoke with the ED and DOGM about wrestling, and because we just had a Royal Rumble, I think we're going to address the Royal Rumble. So yeah, so here's the results. And sorry, you just heard the click because I'm going to check this on my computer. It's the second time only ever that I've done this. who cares? But still, okay. Just a quick rundown on and a little insight of mine regarding the show. First off, way too long. It was actually a very good Rumble, not the best Rumble of all time, but all in all, certainly not the main card, not the Rumble itself. It was kind of dull, to be honest. I think the Rumble itself was kind of boring, predictable yet good, but kind of tedious. Like I don't think the card was too stacked in favor of the Rumble. I think they could have gone with higher profile superstars or wrestlers, and yeah, I don't know. I think that was kind of the point, though. So, because and but either way, like one thing that's very influential is that if you're going to have an event that's 5 hours long plus 2 hours of the pre-show, it's 7 hours of just sitting at the television, or whatever your computer or whatever you're watching. If you're at the event, then it's 7 hours is fine. Then you just go do whatever, and it's fun. You have a whole day. But if you're watching, which is like most people, it just gets a lot. It just gets very tiring, and at some point you just switch off, and we'll address that, and I guess that's been addressed by experts and people who usually comment, but that's my opinion, and it's going to be relatively short, so why not listen to it if you're into wrestling. So, okay, I'm not even going to go to the first match of the night, because Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus Dawson and Razor makes no sense, so who cares? Okay, so Nakamura versus Rusev. Losing via shenanigans because he bumped into Lana, and and I guess the match was kind of fun, not necessarily great, but regarding in hindsight, like you knew that it was kind of it felt kind of weird that Nakamura regained the title back from Rusev. Rusev didn't hold it enough, the US title, and and Nakamura, if you don't know this yet, just lost the title to R-Truth, and R-Truth is a lot of fun, but it's just kind of dumb, and Nakamura is a huge star, as we know, worldwide, and Rusev has untapped potential and funniest dude, and with a lot of talent, so we are unfortunately dealing with just disillusion, I would say, disappointment, actually. Okay, so next up we had the Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way, which is possibly the best match of the night, or one of the best matches of the night as far as wrestling goes, and as far as wrestling goes, for sure. Buddy Murphy defended against Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami, and basically what I just said, just fast-paced, really, really fun, really impressive. Those, even Kalisto, which is not someone I usually support, was very impressive. So this is a match certainly to go see, possibly NXT quality. Oh, NXT, by the way, was amazing as always. It always is. It's always really good. Okay, so I should actually be speaking about that instead, but we end up just saying that it's really good. It's really good. Every single match is amazing on takeovers. So just go watch takeovers. Always. It's pointless even to speak at length about NXT takeovers, because they're just always excellent. Okay, so next up, Asuka versus Becky Lynch. Asuka defending against Becky Lynch, and you probably could see this coming, because Becky, it was too soon to drop. They have to rebuild Asuka. Becky doesn't need a title. Becky is just like the biggest superstar that's going to come, just like on the verge of becoming crossover, and and a household name, like the next Steve Austin. Everybody says this. I agree. I think she has huge charisma. She's hilarious on social media. If you don't know who she is, just go follow her. She's amazing, and I think they did well. Asuka tapping out Becky Lynch in a very impressive way. So I think that was legit. You know, she sold something that looked really painful. So Becky sold something that the finishing hold looked really painful. So yeah, good on Asuka, and that you could tell that Becky wasn't done. Then you could tell that something was going to happen. She was going to enter the Rumble. That was kind of obvious, but not necessarily that she was going to enter the Rumble, but something was going to happen with Becky later on, because this was too soon on the card. She's too over to be placed so early up on the card. So yeah, okay. Up next, the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match, and we had the Bar, which is Sheamus and Cesaro, who are obviously excellent, defending against or going against The Miz and Shane McMahon, who are a joke, and you think that they would be a bigger joke than they are, but it was not going to be funny. It's like a troll on the part of the WWE, because Shane is not a wrestler, but is the best wrestler in the world, but he's not a wrestler. And surprisingly, I mean, at the end of the match, they won the titles from the Bar, and Miz and Shane were very impressive. Shane is, I think, going on 50. I think he's like 47 or 40-year-old, and 40 years old, and he did the finisher was a shooting star press, which is, if you're not into wrestling, he goes on top of the turnbuckle, like on the highest place of the ring you can go, usually with the usual ring, and jumps, like he does this backward flip and lands on top of the other guy and of the opponent, and basically you can die, and if you don't do this well, and if you're not a trained wrestler. And I guess that by now Shane McMahon is a trained wrestler, and he's had surely enough training, but is still not a consummate wrestler. So it's very dangerous, and he pulled that off, and it was pretty much perfect and very impressive. So I guess that's what we have to deal with now. Okay, next up we have Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is one of the better wrestlers on WWE, and Ronda Rousey is just a superstar, and a crossover star from MMA and stuff like that. I shouldn't have to tell you who Ronda Rousey is. She's had a wonderful first year, just like really impressive matches, really fun to watch. She's really, really good, really, really talented, and I think this was maybe the best match in terms of wrestling quality that she's had. Maybe slightly under Charlotte Flair versus Rousey. Maybe the most wrestled match, but maybe not the most fun match. I don't know. I think that I have some doubts on the finisher with Sasha, and they should have gone with the traditional submission maybe, but still, Sasha looked very good, made Sasha look good. Sasha got really the Ronda Rousey bump, we could call it now. She had a really good match with Ronda, and that's all you need, really. She's never going to win, so yeah. So then we had Becky Lynch basically winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, which was kind of odd. You know, I think that the Rumble match should have gone after the WWE Championship match. Okay, this is going on forever. I'm not going to go on too long with this, but basically the women's match, I would say that highlights are Lana getting injured and not from early getting her husband on top of her, crashing onto her earlier on. So she sold the injury like ridiculously as usual, and she was replaced by Becky, who had Finlay, the old former wrestler who's now responsible for the women's wrestling, and just allow her to go into the ring. And so Becky won the thing, even though Charlotte was my pick to win, because I didn't foresee that Becky could have entered the Rumble, and it would have made sense either way, but once Becky was in it, she had to win it. So in it to win it. So I think that who else was good in the match? I think that Lacey Evans was really good. That young girl, she was very impressive, and the young girl I hadn't ever heard of, Katie Catanzaro or something, that was like Kofi Kingston style stuff. Like she really grabbed the ring as a spider, really. And I'm sorry about my accent today. It's kind of shit. But what else? Iconics really always annoying and fun, but yeah, kind of a stupid Rumble, really. Not necessarily very good. Bayley was good. I usually don't like her so much. Yeah, but Becky won it, and that was very good. Okay, so afterwards, after the huge pop that Becky got from winning the Rumble, we had Daniel Bryan defending against AJ Styles, and everyone was exhausted, including myself. I switched off during this match, which is insane because it's Bryan versus Styles, and I guess it was really good, but I think I should watch it, like, I don't know, maybe I should rewatch it or something, not on the 4th hour of a show, or I don't know. It's just it was really bad placement for them on the card. They should have gone before the Women's Rumble if you're going to go with Becky, because you're not going to be more over than Becky, at this point. So yeah, Bryan versus Styles. It was, they're probably going to have another match because this got interrupted by Eric Rowan, who is only now known as Rowan. But yeah, they apparently Bryan is going to have a stable, I hope. At least if not a stable, at least just like help from other people, and I think that his first henchman is Rowan. It would be fun if they go with Harper. It would be fun if they go with Bray Wyatt as well, and suddenly the Bryan stable is the Wyatt family. That would be hilarious. I think they could really make it work. I think they at least for maybe for even like half a year it would work. Or even a full year, maybe. I don't know. It would work. And Daniel Bryan as a heel I wasn't for it initially, but I was wrong. He's amazing at a heel, and I was wrong with Johnny Gargano as well. Like, they are deep down, or at least they are forever faces, but because the crowd is always going to be for them. But it works if they play heel as well. Like, if they're the bad guy, I was going to say, oh, it's not believable, they're not the bad guys. Oh, but they can play the bad guys and be amazing at playing the bad guys. It's really a lot of fun. Okay, so what else? Then we had 2 matches left, so I'm going to try to keep this short. It's a long event, 7 hours, and the interview part of this show is much smaller, so I apologize. There you go. But okay, then we had Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. Balor was never going to win, but he's getting a push, but Lesnar is going to keep holding the belt until the UFC fight for sure. And there was only one way they could book this, which would be the same Brock Lesnar match that happens when you want to put someone over, which is smaller guy destroys Brock Lesnar for a while, surprisingly, and or at least gets some offense in, and then Brock somehow wins because he's a beast, or the beast. But so Finn, but they booked it really in an exciting way. I think that Finn got a lot of offense for a much smaller guy, and basically the whole, I think that 70 or 80% of the match was Finn Balor on the attack, and that's very impressive because Brock Lesnar is basically a human shark. So and Finn Balor is just like this smaller, very, very agile guy with also a lot of charisma. So, well, much more charisma than Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar doesn't need charisma. He probably eats charisma for breakfast. Yeah, so, but I was booked in a very fun way, and I always think, not always, but I tend to think that WWE main matches, the main event matches, are usually very well booked. I mean, because it's, I prefer... at this point in my life, I prefer NXT and I prefer New Japan, and we'll see about AEW, and it's possibly going to be excellent, most likely. But yeah, I prefer my wrestling to be better, but there's a sort of match that only WWE can give you, which is like those Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman type of matches, or Goldberg type of matches, or just like very big high profile matches. That's what I mean. Okay, so lastly, the Royal Rumble itself, and this is going to be the Seth Rollins win. I'm just checking the entrance order, and to check that it was kind of, highlights of this was Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe I wish he would have gone on longer, but while he was in it, he was very much the main focus of it, because he looks like a psychopath and that he's out to kill someone. So they have to book him stronger. They have to. Otherwise, it's just kind of becomes ridiculous in a way. But still, I think that he still makes it believable, even though he's not winning. But still sounds like he's going to kill you. I mean, the man has to hold a championship at some point. I mean, what are they waiting for? There's what are they doing with the US belt at this point? Or I don't know. Just put a belt on Joe. I don't know. He should. No one can hang with him as a tag team. But at least a singles title. Come on. Okay, then we had people from NXT. We had the return of Jeff Jarrett, but this is not fact. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to give you my opinion. I think Elias did well. I think Nakamura did shit for someone who won last year. I was sad to watch Kurt Angle do this. It's sad to watch Kurt Angle humiliate himself all the time now. But I think Gargano did okay. Nothing special. Samoa Joe was definitely one of the highlights. I'm gonna go. Kofi did a Kofi spot. I think he did 2 Kofi spots actually. I don't mind those. I think they're still fun. It's something you look forward to, and it's fun to see him being creative. However he wishes to be. And what else? Totally. So this Rumble had too many throwaway spots. I mean, because Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Kurt Hawkins, who else? Titus O'Neil, even Xavier Woods, like Apollo Crews. They were there for very short periods of time. I mean, so why do this? Even Bobby Lashley. I mean, just like. I really dislike. I don't mind one per Rumble, but five of them. It's just too many. Okay, so what else? Drew McIntyre did well. Dean Ambrose also underwhelming. Pete Dunne did very well. Andrade did excellent. I'm very happy about that. Aleister Black was on the card, and he did very well as well. Nice returns. Good performance by Baron Corbin. Even all being said, and Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio did well, and Braun Strowman was also always very good, and Dolph Ziggler came back, which is fun because he played everyone. Because an interview with Chris Van Vliet came out the previous day saying, I'm not booked to be in the Rumble, and then he was because he just lies all the time. And Randy Orton did well, always a superstar, and sometimes a boring superstar, but as long as he's a heel, I'm with Orton. I support his performances. I mean, and Mustafa Ali was also a star of this event, and Mustafa Ali did very well, and I think he's getting over really well, which is very good. And the last entrance, Nia Jax destroyed R-Truth. The last entrant. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm tired now. But okay, so Nia Jax entered the Rumble, and she's a woman, and I don't mind this at all, because the WWE used to have China, and I'm not against it. So mixed wrestling. So as long as it's physically feasible, or feasible or not feasible, I mean believable. So yeah, Nia Jax is larger than most men on the roster. So why not? Yeah, sure. It's if they don't do it all the time, if they did this just this once, for some reason they made it look like Mustafa Ali and Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton, those spots were actually very fun, so I don't mind those at all. I think the last segment of the Royal Rumble was the best segment maybe of the whole men's Rumble, because you wanted Seth to win, but if Braun won, it would be okay as well, and they made it so long that and so back and forth and so on the verge of being eliminated that it became very exciting. So I think that was a very well pulled off segment. Okay, so enough about wrestling, and here is the our interview of sorts. It's just we were just hanging with them with horror at oh shit, something just fell. Okay, whatever. Okay, so please enjoy our chat with Edie and the OGM at Vodafone Pritchkore. It was almost 2 years ago, guys, but it's not about any record, so who cares? Please follow us. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't yet, and follow us on social media. It's Made of Things and Made of Things Pod. Either or, just look us up, and we bullshit all the time, so just come hang with us. Bye! Just so you guys know, because it's very scoopy and gotcha journalism. No, it's the last thing it is. It's the last thing it is. Just one thing for the because we're also on a podcast on audio for iTunes and stuff like that. So we also have a podcast. But so you guys could you guys just introduce yourselves?
Yes. My name is Edie, also known as Yeti Bones.
I am the OGM, aka Blue.
Okay, so now we're on for the video version. And okay, so first off, amazing show, awesome. I already kind of expected it to be awesome, and it was. So there you go.
Thank you.
So how was it for you guys?
It was awesome. We didn't know that we had so many fans in Portugal. Like when before we came out, people were like chanting like our name, and I'm like, whoa, this is like amazing. This is really good. I mean, we came last year. We played a smaller festival, but this year it was just so crazy.
You played Milhões, I think.
Yes.
And I was never there, ever. This is actually my first time over here at Correia, so at Correia, actually. So, you know, and I've been doing this for a while, so at least, well, I'm still catching awesome bands like you guys. So another first thing that struck my mind, struck me. Not struck my mind. I apologize. I'm tired. Was what a rush. Okay, so this is Hawk from the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors. Yes. So was he your favorite wrestler? Because. But one of my all-time faves.
Yeah, they're like one of my all-time favorites. Like, you know, the way they dress, their energy, like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit was just, like, we love wrestling coming up. Yeah. Loved wrestling, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we try to throw all those little elements of, like, childhood, like, memories in there, you know?
Aren't the Road Warriors the best of all time? I think so.
Yes. You remember their outfits?
It's amazing. Yeah. They were so punk, dude, as well.
Yeah, that shit was punk as fuck.
You gotta fuck with the Dudley Boys too. We bought them Dudley Boys. TLC tables, ladders, and chairs. Get the tables. Get the fucking tables. Yeah.
You know what? Like when I was a kid, I grew up on wrestling and the WWF back at the time. We did exactly. I'm sorry. Once again, I grew up on wrestling and then kind of quit because it kind of got boring in the early '90s, and then came back to it, and now I really enjoy it again. And do you guys like any wrestling now?
I haven't paid attention to it. 'Cause I'm stuck back in the days. I need my Stone Cold. I need my Undertaker. I need my DX, Shawn Michaels. You know, I like look at wrestling now. I'm like, fuck, man.
Like Triple H, like, you know, all that shit. That was tight.
I'm just waiting for that fucking glass to break.
Yo, before the Dudley Boys, though, it was the Bushwhackers. You remember they used to come out like this, you know what I'm saying, biting people and stuff like that. That shit was tight.
Yeah, we certainly got an upgrade with the Dudley Boys, I think.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Because the Bushwhackers, like anyone who wasn't into wrestling, got two things. First off, was the Undertaker. Like, that's not possible. That's not even feasible. That's not, you know, I'm not believing that in any way. And the Bushwhackers were like stomping. I'm sorry, but they were like stomping and hitting. You know, like that's totally fake. And now, you know, fake.
You know who's the illest though? NWO.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they was the hardest because they just changed the game as far as like their contracts was up, and they're like, you know what, we tired of this shit. We don't want to dress up in costumes anymore. We gonna start up our own group, and we gonna come out in jeans and leather vests and just beat the fuck out of people. Like, you know, and just take over. Like, you know, they took over everything. The branding, you know, like when they come on the screen, everything just like, you know, black and white. You know what I mean? Like that shit was tight, man. Like they're one of my inspirations. If you never seen the documentary, you should watch the documentary.
I haven't.
Yo, you should watch the NWO documentary. That shit will change your life.
And it could happen at any point. Yeah.
Like somebody would be fighting and they would just come out of the audience out of nowhere.
Who was your favorite NWO member? Like Diesel, I mean Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan, bro. Come on, you know, Hollywood Hogan was the man.
I have some limitations with Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan.
He was weird. Yeah, he was weird.
I'm gonna go with the motherfucking Worm.
I knew you was gonna say that. Dennis Rodman. He was the man.
Dennis Rodman.
Yes, people who are not into wrestling, Dennis Rodman was in the NWO for some time. And unfortunately, David Arquette was a champion of WCW for a day, I think. But kind of ruined it for everyone for a while.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, guys, I think we should stop talking about wrestling, even though I could do this all night, because maybe some people don't enjoy this at all. I love horror. I know, I hate wrestling, so this mix doesn't go well for me. It doesn't go well with me. So, okay. So, what I was gonna ask something a little more serious, which is it a relief for you guys to be in Europe? Because everything, right?
That's going on?
Yeah, that's going on and has been going on for a while and since forever, I guess.
I love Europe. I never in my lifetime thought I would come to Europe, especially to play a show in a band, because I wasn't doing this 5 years ago. So Europe is like a long step. The farthest I thought I was going to leave New Jersey is go to California to visit and bring my ass right back home and go to work, let alone come to Europe all over. So this is like so surreal for me.
Has there been a point where it clicked? Like, oh, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, like the first time we came to Europe, I think our first date was like London, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, like 2015, we were just like, whoa, we can't believe that we're on this plane like 10 hours to actually play a show overseas. Like, it was crazy. And then I think what the craziest thing about coming over here is that like people know the music. Like when we go to certain places, people know the music and then they recite the words. Like when I see people reciting the words to me, that shit fucks my head up. I'm just like, I can't believe that you know the lyrics, because we from a small town where we never thought that it would get this far. So yeah, it is good to be in Europe right now, because obviously there are horrible things going back in our country, but there's horrible things going on everywhere. Sure. I mean, just today we read the Barcelona thing, like some dude just like plowed into people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, there's just stuff going on around the world, and I'm grateful that we got to play a festival where people were happy and it was love. Because there's evil things going on in the world, but then people can also come together and have a good time. So that's awesome to me.
Has it happened not to because there's no what you call it, not juxtaposition, but I mean there's no overlap. Thank you. So there's obviously there's no overlap in terms of feel, but is there any? Okay, so there's no overlap. Like, so people I'll just skip this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so you guys were on tour with Dillinger, Escape Plan. Yeah. They were just here last week and they're on the show as well. Yeah. So Ben, my man, yeah, Ben was on the show. So love those guys. How was it touring with them?
It was great. I loved every single second of it. It was the most fun, exciting, adrenaline pumping shit you can ever imagine playing with the Dillinger Escape Plan.
Yeah, because who booked that? This is fucking genius. Like horror and Dillinger Escape Plan is a fucking.
It happened. Their drummer, his name is Billy. Yeah. He happened to be at a show that we played in Brooklyn, because he lives in Brooklyn, and he happened to be there. A friend, he just came with a friend. He didn't know who we were, and then he saw it and he was just like, "Whoa, this shit is crazy." So he wanted to. The crazy thing is he saw me after the show. He exchanged information with me, and I didn't know who he was, because usually people come up to us after the show. They're just like, "Yo, I'm in a band. I would love to play with you guys." Blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, I'll take your information, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I mean? And then like, so I had a iPhone 4 at the time. It was a terrible phone. And then like I lost his information, and then one day we were playing a show in Texas, in Dallas. And then they were playing across the street from us. And then so they came to the show. He hit me up like, yo, we're playing across the street and we're gonna come to the show. So then I saw the message. I was like, oh shit, this guy from Dillinger Escape Plan. And it turned and it turns out he messaged me to tell me that they wanted to do the tour with us because they didn't have anyone to tour. So we missed that tour, the first one in the States. So then when we saw him, he was just like, yo, let's set it. It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault. And then we saw him, and then he was just like, okay, let's set it up for UK because we're gonna finish the States, and then we're gonna go to UK and Europe. And then so we exchanged it, and then we made it happen because they were genuinely fans. Like,
That's awesome.
You know,
That's awesome.
yeah, actually, it was crazy.
Kudos to you, Billy, for coming up with this amazing idea.
Billy's the man.
Billy's the man. Okay, so and another thing, like I saw on Wikipedia that Japanther was important in the formation of you guys, and other friends of the show, Ian and Matt. Ian, Hugh. Yes. Hey, Ian. Bye. And the name of the show is Made of Things, and it's based on the idea that you guys dedicate yourselves to this art you're doing because something happened in your life, or watched something, read something, heard something that made you go, I want to do that forever, or as long as possible. Did you guys have that, and what was it?
That we want to do something for the rest of our life.
He's saying like what was like the changing point that just, like you heard something.
Did you?
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a moment in which you clicked and or because some people do, some people don't, and it's fine if you don't. But
this all just fell into my hands.
Okay.
Really, it's one big jack off sesh. It just fell into my hands, really. And I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in the motherfucking NBA, fucking dunking on people. I'm not even supposed to do music. I'm supposed to be in the NBA right now.
okay.
For me, definitely, I always knew this shit was gonna happen, like for sure.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like my father was into music. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do at first. I always knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment realm. But then when I started writing music, I like was passionate about it. When I'm passionate about something, I just go for it. Like I was broke as fuck. Like trying to play shows, trying to do shit, but I was still doing it because I just knew something was gonna happen. And then I just linked up with this motherfucker, and then like we were friends like 3-4 years before we started the band. We didn't even know that we were gonna make music because he never made music. And then I just got him to rap, and then boom, we just started doing this shit.
Bron, I'm coming for you.
There you go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. We're on call. Yeah, you know how it goes. we need to.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
It's a pleasure. Love meeting you guys. We need we need just one. We just need a picture for the show. Okay, and that's it. Is my hair too at the drive-in-y?